first off with the appetizers, we have fried quesong puti, Macau chorizo and cheese tidbits, and the fresh smoked fish spring rolls. Okay, if you may share to us, how did you come up with these creative and unique dishes?
Okay, so we're going to start with the first dish that I thought of. This is the fresh smoked fish spring rolls. So this came about when I was traveling to Thailand, and they have the fresh spring roll with the shrimp inside and the sotanghon inside. And I was thinking, I'm sure this is going to be better if it tasted like Filipino. It had the Filipino taste. So using the rice wrapper, the fresh rice wrapper, I put dinapang bangus, smoked fish, itlog na pula, mustasa, so yung mustard leaves, and then tomato and onions, all rolled together. And then the dipping sauce is shallot vinegar. So it's white vinegar infused with shallots. So the way to eat it, you're going to actually taste everything later. The way to eat it is you take this soy dish, one piece, and then you put vinegar, and then you hold the spring roll with your clean hand, and together with the spring onion, and you bite it together. So like that, parang you have to eat it with the spring onion, but if you don't like onion, okay lang. But it will be actually better. So it's going to be the contrast in flavor and a little crunch from the mustasa. So this is the fresh smoked fish spring roll. And then another variation of the spring roll is, I call it the Macau chorizo and cheese tidbits. So it's like, because yung Macau chorizo before, when I was younger, alam niyo yung Macau chorizo ng Dairitz? Alam niyo yun? Yung parang matamis-tamis na parang this red sausage thing. So masarap yun, parang when you just fry it, and then you eat it with rice and suka and ganyan. Tapos like, ay sarap no, paano ko kaya ilalagay yun sa menu na hindi ganun lang? So I made it into a lumpia, but the filling is I put cheese inside and I put singkamas. So parang lumpiang Shanghai na hindi. Parang ganon. And then I deep fry it and I cut it. And then it's still the shallot vinegar dipping sauce. So parang you always need the vinegar to cut the fat because it's deep fried. So this is the Macau chorizo and cheese tidbit. So the Macau chorizo, actually we don't buy from Dairitz. I have my classmate from high school. She has a business like meat processing, and we order from her. So this one. And then I told her, kaya mo yung So pinagaya ko yung sa Dairit para makuha yung lasa. And then, this one is the fried quesong puti appetizer. So it's like quesong puti, we know it as, it's supposed to be gatas ng kalabaw, di ba? Quesong puti. So ito, galing sa San Miguel, Bulacan, yung quesong puti. Our supplier, she says, I make it in our ancestral home in Bulacan. So, okay. And then I realized the quesong puti really comes from there, aside from Laguna. Di ba, in Laguna, they also have. So, we just asked her to formulate it to be a little more firm so that we can deep fry it. So, coat it in flour, egg, breadcrumbs, deep fry. And the sauces, later when you try them, there are two sauces. It's garlic dip and guava dip. So the garlic dip is sour cream with the flavor of adobo. And then the guava dip is guava syrup with sweet chili sauce. So when you eat it, it's alternate. When you dip it in the garlic, then dip it in the guava dip. So you're alternating sweet and salty in one dish. At your preference. So those are the appetizers. One of the first dishes that came out when we were doing Belfry is called tomato quesong puti salad. So if you are familiar with the caprese salad in Italian cuisine, so this is my take on it. It's like two ingredients cooked two ways. So there's fresh quesong puti and then fried quesong puti, and then there's blanched tomato and fresh tomato, and then the dressing is a tomato anchovy vinaigrette. So it's like caprese but Pinoy. So that's the innovation there. And then the green thing there is like spring onion puree. There.
Thank you so much. Very well explained, Chef. So we now have a better understanding how these dishes came about. Now, before we move on to your signature dishes, Chef, can you be able to share to us what is your ideation process? Or how did you come up with those signature dishes which eventually nga naging signature ng Sentro 1771?
Like in anything, sometimes you think hard, sometimes you don't think hard. And sometimes you experiment a lot. So every dish has a story. So it depends, like if I taste something after traveling and I try to interpret it, or I start with an ingredient and I say, oh, sarap. Macaw chorizo, what can I do with this? So it starts with that, think of a dish. Or sometimes by accident, when you see something there and then you go, oh, maybe I can do this. So that's what happened to the corned beef.
Now, Chef, since sikat na sikat ang Rated GG, actually, Sentro 1771 is the first restaurant to come up with galunggong as part of the menu. So, how did you muster up the courage to include galunggong in the menu na alam natin tatangkilikin ng mga Pinoy?
Because I was naive and ignorant, I didn't know kung tatanggalin. I have no idea. I have no idea. It was triggered by, so before 2002, my sister and I were talking. Sabi niya, parang sarap ng pritong galunggong, di ba? Nung maliit tayo, makain tayo ng pritong galunggong. And then we remembered, oh nga, masarap po. And then I was thinking, how can I serve it in a restaurant? May tinik, may ulo. Who's gonna eat that? Parang, pero masarap. So paano? Tapos alam nga maiprito lang, tapos sabihin nila, pag uwi namin, kaya namin gawin yan. So I had to, parang I didn't really think much. But then, I was reading this gourmet magazine. Di ba before there was this famous magazine called Gourmet Magazine. And I saw a feature, like I think it was in Portugal, or maybe south of France. There was a picture of sardines. This was like grilled, pero whole fish siya, grilled, and then it was drizzled with olive oil. Tapos ako, mukhang galunggong. Pero nasa Europe. Paano kaya gagawin Pinoy? So I infused the olive oil with garlic. I browned the garlic. And then I decided to fillet the galunggong. So you fillet it, take out the pins, ng tinik, isa-isa, yung pinakamadugo. And then just season it with salt and pepper, and then fry it in the garlic olive oil, then top it with brown garlic. So it became Filipino. Yeah, but with a technique that's not Filipino. Yeah, there.
O diba, friends, ina-explain pa lang ni Chef that we can already taste the amazing flavors of their dishes.
We noticed, like, we have relatives, friends, parents who are getting older and they want to have healthier food. But when they eat out, there's little choice of healthy food. So I was thinking, since I love vegetables and salads, I'm gonna put them on the menu even if no one will order them. so sometimes you just have to take a stand and put what you think is good for the customer even if they are not going to order it. Because there might be one person who will enjoy it. So there. So I have a lot of vegetables, like ampalaya. Parang walang gusto kumain ng ampalaya kahit sa bahay namin. Pero I love ampalaya. So there has to be an ampalaya dish. But then we don't have it here. So and also in terms of the drinks, I've made a whole range of vegetable juices and smoothies and stuff because parang to have another choice from the sodas, which are high in sugar. And smoothies, we make our own yogurt. So, yeah, so there, the healthy part.
I also saw earlier on our media friends who have tried already these vegetable juices. So I'm sure nasarapan kayo dyan.